Welcome to the return. Wherever you are tonight, take a moment to arrive. You don't have to rush into this. You don't have to be ready for anything. Just be here. Not the mother, not the wife, not the woman who holds it all together. Just you. Let's take a deep breath together. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. Last time, I told you my story, or at least the parts of it that I thought might help you recognize something in your own story. But tonight I want to give you something. A new way of seeing yourself. A different lens to look through. One that might change the way you understand everything that you've been carrying. I want to start with something that most women over 50 have been told in one form or another for most of their lives. If your life doesn't feel right, if you're stuck, if you're struggling, if you can't seem to get it together, then something must be wrong with you. Maybe you're not trying hard enough. Maybe you're not strong enough. Maybe you're too sensitive, too emotional, too much, or not enough. Maybe you just need to read another book, try another program, or push a little harder, or fix yourself a little more. I'm sure you've heard some version of that, haven't you? I believed it too, for years. I believed that if I just worked harder on myself, if I could just figure out what was wrong with me and fix it, everything would finally fall into place. But it never did, because the premise was wrong. Nothing was wrong with me, and nothing is wrong with you. So let me offer you a different word, a word that changed everything for me, and that I believe can change something for you tonight. That word is patterned. Now, what do I mean by that? A pattern, the way I use the word, is something you learned. It's a way of being, a way of responding, a way of moving through the world that you adopted a long time ago. Usually in childhood, and usually without choosing it, because it kept you safe. It helped you survive. It helped you to be loved, or at least it helped you to avoid being hurt. It was intelligent, it was creative, and it was at the time exactly what you needed. That little girl who learned to be quiet so she wouldn't draw attention to herself, that was a pattern. The young woman who learned to perform confidence so no one saw how afraid she was, that was a pattern. The wife who learned to manage everyone else's emotions so the house would stay peaceful, that was a pattern. And here's the thing about patterns. They don't expire. They don't have an end date. They just keep running. Long after the original danger has passed, long after the circumstances that created them have changed, They keep running because they're the only way you know. So when you're 53 and you still can't say no without feeling guilty, that's not a flaw. That's a pattern. When you're 60 and you still put everyone else's needs above your own, that's not being selfless. That's a pattern. When you look at your life and it looks fine on the outside, but something unnamed aches underneath, that's not ingratitude. That is a pattern that no longer fits the woman you are becoming. You are not broken. You are patterned. And here is why the distinction matters so much. If you're broken, you need to be fixed. And fixing is exhausting. And it's endless. There's always another piece to repair, another flaw to address, another way you're not measuring up. Fixing keeps you in the cycle of shame because the message underneath it is always, you are the problem. But if you're patterned, if your experience is not a defect, but a learned response, then you don't need to be fixed. You need to be understood. The pattern needs to be seen clearly, honestly, and without judgment. And when you get to ask yourself the most powerful question a woman can ask, is this still true for me? Is this still mine? Do I want to keep living from here? That is where the return begins. And I want to explain what I mean by return, because it's not what you might think it sounds like at first. Return does not mean going backwards. It does not mean becoming who you were at 25 or before life got heavy or before the marriage or the children or the career or the loss. It means coming home to the woman who has been underneath all of it this entire time. The one who existed before the patterns took place, before the performing, before the pleasing, before the survival became your whole personality. She is still there. She has always been there, waiting quietly for you to turn around and to find her. That is the return. It's not reinvention, not becoming someone new, but remembering who you were before the world told you who to be, and giving her permission to come back. So tonight, I want to leave you with this. Just notice, is there something you've been calling a flaw that might actually be a pattern? A way you learned to survive that became so familiar, you mistook it for who you are? You don't have to do anything about it yet, and you don't have to fix it or change it or understand it completely. Just notice it and see it. And instead of judging yourself for it, try to just, for tonight, offering it something it may have never received before. Compassion. That pattern kept you alive. It did its job beautifully. And now, gently and honestly, You get to decide if it still belongs. The bravest thing a woman can do is stop blaming herself for the shape her survival took. What you did, what you had to do, you built what you had to build. You became who you had to become to make it through. And now, with more tenderness than you probably ever offered yourself, you get to choose again. Rest well tonight. I'll see you in the next episode.